Good morning. This is not Frankie. It's one of his toys. Well, happy February 4th. No, today's the 5th, right? I'd have to go check my calendar. I think it's the 5th. Do my little morning reading. Help me stay on track. When you seek self-understanding, your mind may indulge in confusion to protect itself from change. If you feel confused, simply accept it as another step towards self-understanding. Confusion reflects the conflict between what your outer self denies and what your inner self knows. Gradually, as you grow in self-understanding, you will pull yourself inside out. Don't expect it to be easy. It's a rebirthing process, but during it, you will be unchaining the real, more powerful you. Today, realize that confusion is part of your learning process. You have caught a glimpse of the fabulous reality within you. Wow, that was deep. Holy cow. What I can say to that is confusion ran rampant in my whole being when I first got sober. And I was always trying to figure it out. There were so many ways my brain had to protect me from thinking about my vulnerability, how scared I could be. There was like no way I would want to recognize or validate when I was afraid growing up. I was the oldest child, so I had to be the tough one. I had to be the organized one. I had to be the competent one. I had to be the one that kept us from falling apart. My mother made it very clear in certain ways. Check this out. It's when somebody's an alcoholic or a narcissist, they do these gaslighting behaviors so they can stay in their confusion and not face their fears, right? They get very controlling and organized in certain ways. So one technique is to be able to say, you know what I mean. You know what I want. Frankie!
I wiped his feet off.
Thank you so much. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Thank you so much. He's not confused about anything, are you? So when you have to have that much control, you know, and being called the little mother, the little wet bird, and a whole bunch of other things, but a child wants so much to please their parents that they will do anything to do it. And that gets locked into, I'll do anything to do it. I will pretend I'm not scared. I'll pretend my feelings aren't hurt because I don't want mom to think she hurt my feelings. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some personalities out there. I'm not one of them. That will let it be known or heard that their feelings are hurt. There are some people who don't, excuse me, fall into PTSD or being a victim. But when you get sober and when you start learning to have boundaries, not just with other people, not just with mom or dad or stepdad or your friends, it's also about having boundaries with yourself. That was one of my big ones. I always had very extreme boundaries with other people. I either let them get away with way too much, or I got rid of them out of my life by breaking up or insulting them or embarrassing them so they didn't come around. I know. You might relate. I don't know. But then there was, a time when I was very well taken care of in AA. Coming from, got sober, thank goodness, in a small community. So it wasn't hard for us to stick together and hang out together, make time for each other. I mean, gosh, for a little while, we even had a softball team. Wasn't that cool? I thought it was pretty dang cool. I had a wild experience. So I was meeting, I may have told you this story already. Stop me if I have. I was meeting some of my AA buddies at a restaurant after a late night meeting. They had I don't know how many meetings a day, at least 6. Early morning, late morning, noon, 5, 8, and I think 10 and 12. I know that there for a while there was a midnight meeting, and once a week there was a candlelight meeting. It was pretty cool. Really liked it. Anyway, it was after a late night meeting. We went to the 24-hour, it was like a Denny's. It was called Sambo's at the time. Oh, they had the best breakfast. But then they changed their name. I don't know if it was to Denny's or what it was, but I don't know. I guess Denny's used to be Sambo's, or maybe Denny's bought them out. I think there was a problem with the name. Somebody didn't like the name, so they changed it or sold it. I don't know, but they got rid of the name. So I walk in, and the hostess asked me where I'd like to sit. And they didn't just place you back then unless they had to. And I, honest to goodness, didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to say, well, I'll wait for my friends here at the door. I was just like, I don't know. All of a sudden, I froze. And honestly, I had a lot of moments like that because I really was trying hard in my head to file things, learn things, let go of other things. When you let go of old behaviors, you have to bring in new behaviors. Or you just sit silent, And if you don't, it's just such a challenging time. Such a challenging time for me. Because I learned so many negative behaviors to get me through. That was my teacher. My teacher was a depressed, angry alcoholic. And so those are the things I learned from her, by watching, by receiving, by being her caretaker. That was a deal. That was my job. My job was to be her caretaker. I got something popping up there. There you are. So, yeah, I'm standing in the doorway. So confused, so locked in, and not knowing to sit there or there, because it was like, where would they want to sit? How many people are going to show up? Well, there's usually this many, but what if I'm the only one? Blah, blah, blah. It was just like flour coming in a funnel, and then all of a sudden kind of gets locked up. You got to tap it to get it going. Oh, I didn't know how to tap it and get it going. I didn't know how to say, I think I'll just stand here and wait for them. I didn't know how to say that. That wasn't one of the options in my head, I don't think. So I think when we're on this journey, we can help each other. And that's what my friends did. They ended, 4 or 5 other people showed up that night at least. But I remember us going through different options on what to do when we got confused. It was pretty cool. I had, it's almost like you go through life with, in my case, with a elementary school education, emotional education. Watch April run, watch Spot run, that kind of thing. And then you get into AA, and it's like, if you have a strong meeting, if you have a strong clubhouse or whatever, and you participate, you learn so much. It's like college all of a sudden. It's like college all of a sudden. It's kind of crazy. I sent an email to Believe to try to figure out how to twist. I even looked it up on YouTube, and I'm not the only one. There were people doing reviews of this product, believe it or not, and didn't think to say, oh, some of you may be having trouble with this. It took me 5 minutes to figure it out. But no, nobody. If you figure that out, let me know. I got it at Dollar General. It's the Believe eyebrow pencil. Yeah. So anyway, it's a wonderful experience. But here's the thing. This is February, so it's step 2. There's 12 steps in the AA program. And most of the other programs, to me, I've been a member of because of my switching addictions issues. Frankie, no. Good boy. Yeah, he's been chewing on his paw. I think he got a little owie. And he just got in the habit of licking. Or he's been doing it because he's not getting enough attention. Because, like I said, it's been so busy around here. So anyway, my point is, I had to be willing to be taught. I had to remain teachable. Very interesting. So, and I mean, willing to be taught on the most basic types of behaviors, which was really kind of crazy to think that this is just an eyeshadow palette. Oh, so I had the cutest live a few days ago. What was that kid's name? Talking about exploring with some makeup and being able to express themselves. And Janice showed up. That was fun. My gosh, Janice is the one that got me the headbands. I don't know if you know this, but there was no way. Well, let me kind of go about this a little different. I'm just telling you, when I was young, there was absolutely no way for me to have certain behaviors that would have been helpful to any kind of long-term goals. I had to be taught different things. I had to be taught. And I was, I've been visiting back and forth with Janice, and somehow I did not know how young she was. I just love that. So inspiring. Matter of fact, I was gonna make a note of how young she is. Under 30. I'll tell you what. It's funny because sometimes I'll have some clients and I'll think, if I had a kid, they'd probably talk like that or behave like that. Not good or bad. I'm just saying there's certain, but I don't know that I have that extra consideration to show a kid. I mean, I'm not as bad as my mom. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I am. I'm not. Holy cow. But to be so generous and considerate is just such a gift. I had a friend that I had out in the Portland area send me a text last night because I have 33 years sober yesterday. I really think February 2nd is my first-ish sober day. But when I got sober, I was so into honesty that I decided I wasn't over my hangover and all the alcohol wasn't out of my body for a couple days. I was inpatient at a detox treatment center. And so I was just extreme honesty kind of thing. And so I said February 4th. But I always, February 2nd just seems to, I don't know. But anyway, she sent me a text saying happy birthday last night. And I just think there are some people out in the world that are just, it looks like they don't even try at being considerate. It's like it just comes natural. I remember standing in front of a Dairy Queen when we had a crew of I don't have time to do the bottom of my hair. I have to get going. So what I'll probably do is put my hair in a braid, which I haven't done in ages. See if I can do this. All right. So anyway, if you get confused about some things, if you are wondering sometimes which way to turn or what to say or what, here's the big secret. Most of the time, nobody will notice if you just be still. Or they'll say, oh, you're quiet. Just like, you know what? I'm just enjoying the moment. Or, ow, I just hit my knee. Did not mean to do that. Ooh. Or just say, I think I'll just stand here for a minute and soak it in. Or whatever you want to say. But you don't always have to have the answers. You don't. All right, y'all. I love you. And you don't have to do subscribing. You don't have to do a thumbs up. But I love it when you just say hello. I just love that. Or tell me what you'd like to hear about. Or tell me how you're doing in sobriety. Or with life. With these crazy goings-ons. I mean, every day it's like, what? Or it's what? It's just, yeah. I took the day off from news yesterday. So if anything, it has been suggested to me by very wise people out there. Sometimes you just have to quit watching the news. Well, I don't like going too long without watching it. Because honestly, I'm starting to handle it a little better these days. It's a roller coaster, but at least I'm not being told what I see and know is wrong or racist or whatever. It's like that was getting old. Or that I was hurting other people. Oh my gosh. So now it's just like, holy cow, what's going to happen next? But it might be shocking, but it's not. Oh, I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm just still reeling that life is so different than it was. And it's probably going to be very different than it's been. I don't know. But I want y'all to just hold on to your boots. Hang in there, and we'll get through this together. All right. Mwah. Bye for now.